What up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Married at First Sight, you guys, season 15, and we are in sunny San Diego. This is season 15. This is episode number 1. The episode was titled, what was the episode titled? So Ready in SoCal, you guys. So we are back with a brand new season of Married at First Sight. Y'all, Married at First Sight is back now, and then Ready to Love will be back at the end of the week. Oh, Jesus the Christ. Be offense. But before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me a big, huge favor and stop taking me out on this date, having me foot the bill at the end of it. Do me that favor, you guys, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss Married at First Sight. All right, you guys, so as I stated, we are in San Diego this season, so we are introduced to our couple. So we have Lindy and Miguel, we have Alexis and Justin, we have Kristen and Mitch, we have Morgan and Ben, and we have Stacia, I'm gonna get her name, Stacia, I think it's Stacia and Nate. So I'm going to go down the line of each couple. So the first couple up is Lindy and Miguel. So you guys know how Married at First Sight works. The single meets up with their family, their friends, tell their friends that they are getting married. Lindy, girl, I don't know how you grew up and you weren't able to, because of your religion, you couldn't dance. You can't dance? Baby, I love to dance. Like, even in church, you know, you got to get, you know, you just got to have a good time. But she couldn't, she wasn't allowed to dance. So she's been on dating apps. So now that, you know, she's hanging up them dating apps and she is going to be getting married in 2 weeks. You guys, when I think about Married at First Sight, there's just no way on God's green earth that I could sign up to do this show. I just really couldn't. I couldn't subject myself to marrying a perfect stranger. So, you know, her friends are talking about how she has heightened emotions, and and they talk about how, you know, she is when she's hangry. Now, I understand hangry, baby, because when a Negro is hangry, he is mean. Like, I am an asshole. I am such an asshole when I'm hangry. You know, I noticed something about Lindy. She talks a lot. Lindy, she talks a lot. Ooh, you guys, Miguel. So we see Miguel, so he's going to meet up with his friends. And I was like, is he one of those? I was looking at him, I'm like, is he a furry? What is it? I was like, is he a furry? Is it cosplay? What the hell is it? And nothing against cosplay, because I want to do cosplay, Power Rangers. So I'm out here for it, but I was just looking at Miguel like, what the hell is this? So then he met up with his friends. I was like, oh my God. And I was wondering, I'm like, are they furries? Look up furries, you guys, if you guys don't know what a furry is. I was like, what the hell is this? Then he said Dungeons and Dragons. I was like, oh, something that I'm definitely not into. Now, no shade to anybody who is into Dungeons and Dragons. I've just never been able to get into that. There used to be a TV show that came on Fox Kids back in the day called Dungeons and Dragons. I just don't, it's not for me. Because that is RPG style gaming. I just can't get into. They be online, they play for hours and hours. It goes on, like, I've saw some RPG games go on for 3 and 4 hours. Baby, I can barely sit through anybody. Like, there are a lot of people on YouTube that I love to watch, and they do live videos, but my attention span is so short that I'll forget that the live is on, and I'll go on and do something else, and I'll be like, oh shit, you was watching so-and-so lives. You was watching so-and-so's live. And I forget. So more power to people who can do that kind of stuff. It wouldn't be me. My black ass would get, like I said, I get sidetracked easily. I mean, you guys see it. You guys see it when I get sidetracked here when I'm filming in the car. You guys can see how sidetracked I get. So he's telling his friends about, you know, the experts have matched him. Again, I just want to know how the experts go about matching people, because it just looked like they say, okay, I got a white girl, I got a white man. Boom, together. Black girl, black man. Boom, together. Black girl, black man. Oh, boom, together. Asian person. Let's put these motherfuckers together. That's what it gives to me. Let me know if that's what you guys get. Because it just, I mean, they always talk about, well, we matched them because of this and we matched them because of that. Really? because it looked like you just matched them based off of their race and ethnicity or religious backgrounds. So listening to Miguel's friends talk, sounds like Miguel has a tendency to ignore red flags when they're right there in his face. I was like, oh, this ain't gonna be a good look. When I was looking at Miguel, I'm like, is he a pushover? Because I think he gives me very pushover, and he gives me very passive, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna be what Lindy is looking for. So then we find out he's a scribe. I was like, okay, cool. Honestly, you guys, when I look at Miguel, because he was talking about how he lived with his dad, and then his mom moved, and he talks about the women that's coming in and out of his life. I was like, well, shit, sound like Miguel needs a little bit of therapy. When it comes, I know that before you go on reality TV, they do give you a psych evaluation, but do y'all actually literally just make these people sit down and literally just have a flat out therapy session? I know that's the thing that that we say these days, that people need therapy, but listening to Miguel talk, Miguel needs some therapy. Like, he needs help. I think Miguel has abandonment issues, and I don't think Miguel has worked on them issues. But you guys can definitely let me know if we on the same page with that one in the comment section below, you guys. But let's pause here and move over to our next couple. All right, you guys, so our next couple is going to be Alexis and Justin. Now, I gotta say right off the rip, Alexis is my girl. I love Alexis. Her personality is so infectious. Her laugh, her smile, everything about Alexis. I just fell in love with Alexis from the moment she walked on the screen. I was like, oh yeah, Alexis. I love Alexis. So, Justin. I was looking at Justin. I was like, oh, Justin got a big body, little head. And then I started looking. Then when Justin stood up, so Justin is 6'8", and I was really looking at Justin. I was like, oh, that's what it is. Justin looked like he was a big boy, because Justin, he got some big womanly ass hips. I was like, oh God, those hips. It was the hips for me. He was talking about how, people thought just because of his height, he would play basketball. I was like, really? People thought that you could play basketball, Justin. Okay, just because you're tall don't mean you can play basketball. I want people to know that just because you got height on you don't mean that you're good at sports. And we saw that later in the episode when the guys were playing volleyball. Justin's tall behind was just sitting there awkward. So then Justin lost. Justin kept. When I first saw Justin, I was like, okay, he don't seem like a bad guy. But then the more Justin kept talking, the more my face went like this. The more my face scrunched up and cringed. Every time Justin appeared on the screen, my face was just scrunched up. So Justin is meeting up with his brother and his sister-in-law. So I think Justin said his brother helped raise him from the age of 14 to 19 or something like that. Now, when Justin, this was the first time Justin lost me, when he said that the women he's dated looked at him as if he's a piece of meat. Is it a rib? Is it a breast? Is it a wing, a thigh? Because outside of what you're talking about, because he says women just want to know, because he's 6'8", they want to know if he's packing. Ladies, just because a man has a big shoe size doesn't mean he has a big dick. Just because a man is tall doesn't mean he has a big dick. He could have a little dick energy. Just letting y'all know that right about now. Not every man that is tall has a big dick, and not every man that wears a size 13 shoe has a 13-inch penis. Let me just preference that let me just say that. So that was when he first lost me. So, no. So we also found out that Justin was previously engaged. So just before the wedding, his ex-fiance broke off the wedding because she wanted a sugar daddy, that is. So she didn't want Justin. And he said she didn't give him time to work on it. I'm like, Justin, baby, there was no way you were going to work on that. That girl wants to be kept. You couldn't keep her. So she left you. And this is another person. I'm like, so has he sought therapy for that? Because that, I mean, even listening to that, that does sound very traumatic. Like, that would be embarrassing. Well, not embarrassing, but that would be like, damn, we were planning our future, and then you break up with me because you want a sugar daddy. So Justin has been celibate for about a year. I was like, okay. Again, why did I need to know that? But hey, go on and set yourself off, Justin. So his brother doesn't understand why he's rushing to marry a person that he doesn't know. And I'm like, finally. I've always wondered this. When it comes to married at first sight, like, nothing against getting married to a person at first sight, but this is a nothing's wrong with it. Me personally, I just wouldn't do it. You don't know anything about this person. This person could be a serial killer, an ex-murderer, you know what, a rapist. Like, they could be a lot of things, and you don't know what this person is. So then we see Alexis. So Alexis, we see her with her friends, and she's playing football. So she has a lot of male friends. I'm like, okay. I wonder if Justin's going to be okay with this. I wonder if he's going to be cool with this, but we shall see. So Alexis, we find out that she is the youngest of three girls. Her mom and dad, when she turned 18, she said her mom and dad told them we were getting a divorce because their parents basically stayed together just for the girls. Oh, God. I don't like hearing that about any family. Like, baby, if the love is gone, and they could sense it, and they were like, thank God. If your kids say thank God, you know you weren't really being effective to your kids. You were teaching them, well, I guess you could say they were teaching them what not to settle, what not to do in a relationship. Because why would you say married? Because at that point, that means you literally just can't stand this person, and you're just waiting for your youngest child to turn 18. Absolutely not. So we also find out that Alexis has been proposed to 3 different times, and each time she's turned them down. So her homeboys are telling her basically that she needs to work on her delivery. You guys, I hope that God, when it comes to her delivery, I don't think anybody could be as bad as Lindsay was last season. I'ma pray. So yeah, that's it for Justin and Alexis. Let's pause here and move on to our next couple. Next up, you guys, we have Kristen and we have Mitch. So Mitch is telling his brother, his sister-in-law, and his nieces, as well as his mother, he's getting married. And then we see Kristen with her friends. Kristen is spelled Krysten. I've never saw that a day in my life. So Kristen's friends think she's crazy, that she's marrying a complete stranger. Okay, so we all on the same page. So Kristen was previously engaged. She wanted to have a destination wedding, right? So she said that she met her ex-fiance in her apartment complex. She said it should have been a red flag because he was in her neighbor's apartment sleeping on the couch. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, people, we go through situations in our lives. So sometimes we stay with people to get back on, until we get back on our feet. No judgment there, because I'm been in that situation more than once. Hopefully, I never have to be in that situation again. But hey, so they dated for 5 years, right? And she tells us that she spent her entire life savings on their destination wedding. Now, when she saw the pictures, the destination wedding was to Florida. I was like, you spent your life savings to go to Florida for a destination wedding? Girl, how much did you spend? Florida, California. That don't cost that much money. But okay, she spent her life. Girl, how much was your life savings? Is the next question. How much was that life savings? Because you went to Florida. So she didn't get married to her ex-fiance because before the wedding, his mistress came to her and said that they had been having sex, had been sleeping together for the past 6 months. I'm like, damn. Well, at least you knew. At least you found out. Because, I mean, that is fucked up. Girl, you've been sleeping with my fiance for 6 months, and just before the wedding, you decide to come and tell me, baby, I would have slapped the shit out that bitch. I would have whooped her motherfucking ass. I would have beat the brakes off that girl. Like, are you serious? Before my wedding, you want to say, oh, I'm sleeping with your fiance? Well, at least it was before the wedding and not after the wedding. But either way it go, the brakes would have been beat off of that girl's ass. Absolutely not. So instead of having a wedding, she just did a big vacation with her friends because it was already paid for. Again, how much was this destination wedding, girl? How much was your life savings? Okay. So she's also told her sisters and her mom about, her getting married, but she hasn't told her dad. She's not going to tell her dad until the day of the wedding. So they were like, her friends were like, so wait, what did you tell your dad? She's like, oh, I just told him on this day, wear something nice. Ooh, girl, your daddy. I don't think your daddy gonna be happy. So then we see Mitch. So Mitch, he's telling his family he has a brother, like I said. His father passed away. I forgot how long ago he said his father passed away. So he's telling his mom, his brother, his sister-in-law, as well as their two daughters, his nieces. And, they're like, oh, well, you can give them some nieces and some cousins to play with. I was like, okay. So his family's happy about it. I'm like, cool. They have no issues with it. So he also tells us, now, is he someone that cleans up the environment? Because he was talking about, he likes to preserve the environment. So he's talking about, he's so into his work. I was like, well, how is this going to work with your relationship? Oh, and in my notes it says so his family was saying that he's kind of like, it sounded like they were saying he doesn't watch what he says, so I guess he can be quite mean or vulgar or whatever you want to say. I was like, oh, so Lindsay the male version. Great. We gotta watch what we say, people. Let's pause here and move to the next couple. Morgan and Ben, you guys. So we see that Morgan, she's into Muay Thai. She is into video games. I'm like, okay, she would be any nerds. Well, no, not even any nerds. She would be most guys' dream girl. She works out and she likes video games. So looking at her, I didn't catch that she was Japanese, but she's Japanese. She said she with her in the last year or so, she wasn't really happy in pretty much all sectors of her life. And I'm like, so you're now ready for a marriage, but you weren't happy. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna keep my thoughts and my opinions to myself for right now. So her friend said that she can be quite intense. I was like, oh God, intense. What does that mean? Please elaborate. Please elaborate. But she told her friend she's getting married. They cool with it. So then we move over to Ben, and I gotta be honest with you guys. Ben's haircut, I absolutely hate his haircut. It's a no. So Ben is a mama's boy. He tells us his parents were two refugees from Vietnam. Now they didn't know each other. They came to the U.S. They met each other and they fell in love with each other, and they had Ben. So Ben is a college graduate, but Ben is also very frugal. Now Ben lost me when he had the odd, but they live in California, so they might be able to get away with this in California. But I know here in Texas, you are not getting away with that kind of shit. Ben says we see him couponing. I'm cool with the couponing, baby. I'm cool with that. Because if you give me a coupon, baby, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use as many coupons as I can. So I'm a coupon boy. So I'm not judging the coupons. But Ben lost me when Ben says he don't use the heat or the AC. He just opens the window. I was like, absolutely not. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. He says he doesn't wash between peak hours. I was like, wow. He doesn't wash between peak hours. I don't think that Ben and Morgan are going to be a good match for each other. I really truly don't, because she likes to go out and spend. He don't. But like I said, he literally lost me at that point when he said he opens up the window. He don't do the AC or the heat. So during the winter, how do you stay warm during the Well, with California, y'all don't really have winters, do you? Kind of like Texas. I mean, we might get a winter. We might get a little bit of cold in Texas, but it ain't gonna be that cold. It's gonna probably be hot. But during the summer, what the hell? I'd be damned if I'm gonna sleep in a house with the window open and sweating. That's why these windows are up right now, because I'm sweating because it's hot. It's over 100 degrees here. Like yesterday was 108 degrees in Texas. Absolutely not, Ben. You would lose me. The minute I'd be like, hey, you gonna turn the air on? Child, he is worse than Chris's dad from Everybody Hates Chris. Ben would lose me. Absolutely ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Hell to the now. To the now, now, now. So let's pause for you guys and move over to our last couple. All right, you guys. So the last couple is Stacia, right? Stacia. I gotta forget her name. Stacia and Nate. So Stacia is telling her mom. Now, she did say she doesn't know who her biological father is. I don't want to dig deep into that. So she has a stepfather. So she's a boss. She's in the financial world, and she lets us know that she emancipated from her mother at a young age, because I think her mom was gonna move, and I think when she was in high school, she had made her friends, and she decided she wasn't gonna go. She was on some kind of a team, and she said she wasn't going, so she ended up staying in and emancipated from her mom. So she wants to have kids. You know, she's 37 years old. I mean, I know that at her age, it's not that getting pregnant is going to be hard for her. I think that the pregnancy, once you reach a certain age, I think, is it like what, 35? I think they call it the geriatric pregnancy, which I don't understand that, but hey, I think it's just going to be that the pregnancy will be a little bit high risk. But girl, it can happen. Janet Jackson had a baby in her at 50, so it can happen. So Nate, we see him, and he's telling his friends. So Nate has, now that one friend, that guy, I was trying to figure out if he was gay. Nothing against it, because I was like, and the reason why I was trying to figure it out, because I was like, his friend group is very diverse. He has 2 women, and then he has that guy as a friend. I was like, that's kind of cool. If the guy is gay, that's cool that he has a gay friend. He's open, and he's cool. So he doesn't have any family out there in California. I'm like, so where's your family at? So then he says, girl, you might want to watch Nate, because Nate said at a young age he was selling. He didn't straight up say he was selling fake ham. He said he was selling imitation. Nigga, that's fake. You selling them knockoff, fake ass Gucci, Louis, Prada, Fendi bags, and the cops told you to stop, or else they were going to arrest you. So that helped him become the guy that he is today. So he is into, sound like he's into like hedge fund, like Bitcoin and all that kind of stuff. That is some shit of which I don't understand. I would love to know something about it, but I kind of don't want to know anything about it, because I don't have any intentions of investing in something that I don't understand. But hey, he's independent. You know, he said he slept in his car before. He's been down and out, but now he's on the up. Cool. So his friends ask him, about how, do you think she'll be cool with the fact that you have, 2 friends that are women? I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on that situation. If Nate just became friends with these 2 women, like within the last 6 months or so, then I would question it, right? But if Nate has been friends with these women for years, even if you say 1 year or more, then you obviously know that there's nothing there. Well, a year, I can't really say that, but maybe 2 or 3 years. If they've been friends for years, let's actually say years, let's say 2+ years, then you kind of know that there's not necessarily something there. Actually, let's take out 2 years. Let's say at least 5. If you got a 5-year friendship, you know for a fact that they are just literally friends. If they've been friends for the last 5 years. They ain't hit on each other. They ain't had sex unless they tell you, hey, we kind of messed around it. Now that would be an issue. That is an issue right there. If you say, hey, we're best friends, but there was this one time where we blurred the lines and we kind of hooked up with each other, then I would be like, I got an issue with that. But with Nate, I think Nate, we're going to talk about Nate in just a few minutes, you guys. We're going to get a little deeper into Nate. But let's pause here, you guys, and we're going to move forward. All right, you guys, so next up, we see the men. They're meeting each other for the first time, and the women. And this is when I saw, just because Justin has height on him, doesn't mean he's athletic. He ain't athletic at all. He's not athletic at all. At all. So, Chris, the funny thing to me was the fact that some of these women were saying, the women and the men were saying what they do not want and want and don't want. And lo and behold, they mess you with people with things that you might not be able to get past. Because Kristen was talking about the fact that it would be kind of hard for her, with her being with a man that is in his late 30s, early 40s, and has never been in love with each other. In love. I was like, well, girl, you got a 41-year-old man that has never really been in a relationship longer than 2 years. So, buckle up, buttercup. Then Morgan, she talks about how she's Japanese. She wants to go to Japan. Her family's some samurais, and they got a street named after them. And I was like, girl, good luck with that one, because your husband is frugal. Because he was talking about buying her some socks. But then on her birthday and anniversary, he'll do something. I'm like, wait, what? Socks? Nah? Not some socks. Nigga, if you buy me some socks, I will. And that's what I'm going to do to you. I'm going to tap you on your shoulder, and I'm going to tell you to go. You got to go. Some socks. Hell to the nah. Good luck to you, Morgan and Kristen. So then we see. No, we didn't see did we see everybody go shopping for dresses and tuxes? No, we didn't. Only people we saw go shopping for dresses and tuxes in this episode was Alexis and Justin, as well as Stacia. I think that's her name. I'll get it right by next week, you guys. Stacia and Nate. So Alexis, the first dress she came out in, I actually liked that first dress. No, I didn't. Was that the one where she was covered all up? One of them she came in, she was covered all up. There was another one she came in where there was a V, and she didn't like that V. But then the last one she came out in, I was like, oh my God, that is it. It was beautiful. Alexis, like I said, you guys, Alexis, her smile, her personality, it's just very warm and it's very inviting. And I like Alexis. I don't know how things are going to go between her and Justin, but overall, I can definitely tell you guys that I like Alexis. Now, watching Justin try out them tuxes, oh God, it was cringeworthy. When he took that jacket, he doing all this, and then when he took that jacket off, I said, no, Justin, please stop. Please stop. It is making me cringe. Oh, and then he popped them suspenders. Oh, that hurt. I imagine so. Oh, Justin. Justin is a no for me, you guys. I can tell you guys that definitively. Justin is a absolute hails to the no. So Justin is trying on his tux. He has his nephews there and his brother. Brother still ain't feeling this situation, and I don't blame his brother, to be quite honest with you guys, because if my brother or my sister, if any of my brothers or my sister came to me and said, hey Jerome, I'm getting married to a perfect stranger, I'm like, you doing what? Why? You don't know this person. You don't know the person's name. You don't know shit about this person. Why would you do something? Why would you subject yourself to something like that? No. So then we're moved back over with Alexis. So we find out who's walking her down the aisle, and it is her mother. And her crying. Again, I have to say, I love Alexis. Like, Alexis is my girl. So far, of the women, I have two women that I like, Alexis and Stacia. I like Stacia. What I want from Stacia is, I know she's a boss. I just kind of want her to. Her mom. Let's actually talk about her right now. So when she was trying to address her family and her mother and her friends were talking about the fact that, you know, she's gonna have to be submissive to her husband, and she's like, ugh, I don't know about that. And I'm not gonna sit here and say she needs to be submissive to her husband. I don't believe in submission from anybody. I think what Stacia needs to do is be able to be open and be able to be vulnerable. That is what I would say. Be open and be vulnerable. You don't have to be submissive. And they basically told her that in a nutshell. When they say submissive, they don't mean you lose yourself. Just be open, be willing to experience things, and also be able to let him lead. Okay. I mean, it is what it is with that. So yeah, she needs to give up some control. So then we move over with Nate. He's trying on his tux. I hated that tux, you guys. Honest to God, I hated that tux. It was ugly as fuck. The only thing I liked about it, and it's barely, was the blue trim. And I didn't even like that. And blue is my favorite color. Blue and orange are my favorite colors, but I hated that tux. Absolutely hated that tux. So let's pause here, you guys, and start to wrap up the episode. So next up, you guys, we have the bachelor and bachelorette parties. For me personally, when I think about a bachelor and a bachelorette party, you think about doing a bachelor party or a bachelorette party with your good girlfriends or your good homeboys, right? I would never want to do a joint bachelor party with 4 other men or 4 other women that I don't know. I will say, though, that the ladies were having a good ass time, especially Morgan. Baby Morgan was on what she was twerking, what her mama gave her. Lindy, talkative, can't dance, doing a roll back. Then the bachelor party. At first, it looked like it looked bland and boring the entire time. The only interesting thing about the bachelor party, now the strippers, I was like, oh, that's the stripper? Okay. Justin, sir, you continuously make me cringe. Justin talking about he don't go to the strip clubs, that's fine. But you ain't got to tell me that when you go to the strip club, your dick don't get hard. Oh God. You're not supposed, that's not why you're supposed to go to the strip club, to get your dick hard. You're going there for the entertainment, not to get your dick hard, because you're not going to have sex with the stripper. Oh God, Justin. Ever heard of something I like to call TMI? TMI. It's just way too much information for me. I just did not need to know that your dick don't get hard for the stripper. He could have kept that tidbit to himself. So, Stacia, I can't remember this woman's name, and I know I'm saying it wrong. So she is cool. So she's talking about how, if her man, gets attention, get looks or anything from other women, she's okay with that as long as he doesn't cross the line by inviting it in to the relationship. And then we see him with the stripper. He told her to get on her knees. He had a can of whipped cream. He sprayed her with that whipped cream. I was like, ooh, that's a hella. Even if you knew who your fiance was, and this is your wedding, the night before your wedding, and this was on camera, if I was your fiance, I would be pissed off at you. But in this instance, she doesn't have. Well, technically, when she saw the episode last night, if they're still together, she could be a little bit pissed. but not really, because they didn't know each other. They weren't in a relationship at the time. So he technically did not cheat on her, but I would I would then ask, that would pose a lot of questions. So is there something that I have to worry? Is that something that I have to worry about? If a woman is in your presence, it's okay to have fun. It's okay to have fun, but don't cross the line. Don't cross the boundaries. And that's what she was talking about. I'm like, girl, your fiance is already crossing boundaries, and I think it's only going to get worse. So then she asked the ladies, are they okay about their men being circumcised? Oh, circumcised or uncircumcised? Oh, this conversation here, especially with Kristen. I'm cool with the turtleneck. I got somewhere he can, I got what did she say? She has a turtleneck. She has a collar for him to put it in or something. I was like, girl, you could have kept that to yourself. So some of y'all just don't know what TMI means, huh? Kristen don't know what TMI means. Justin don't know what TMI means. So we just gonna keep doing this all season, huh? Cool. So Alexis, she's never saw an uncircumcised penis before, and it seems like she would be grossed out by it. Yeah. So then we move back over to the bachelor party. So Justin's brother, baby, Justin and his brother got into it, and Justin's brother called him a little bitch. And honestly, I have to agree with his brother. Justin was being a bitch, because all he was saying was, I don't, he's not really here. He doesn't understand this. He's not really here for this. And Justin got in his goddamn feelings. And when that camera panned out on Justin, that was the minute I looked at them hips. I was like, oh my God. You and Tim Norman with these wide ass hips. Them hips. Don't lie. So then, the end of the episode, we see the men as they're looking for their engagement rings. Then our first couple to get married is going to be Alexis and Justin. Justin's brother showed up, and he's okay with it at this point. So Justin and Alexis get married. Alexis was so giddy, and she was so beautiful. And she was so happy to see that Justin was tall, because that's the one thing that she said. She wants her man to be tall. She said 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". Okay, now I'm probably going a little bit too far. Oh, you guys, my phone is about to die. But yeah. I don't even know where it stopped at. But yeah, Justin and Alexis, they say they're I do's. She likes the fact that he's tall. If that got cut out, she likes that he's tall. And that's the first episode, you guys. So we got 4 more couples to get married. But let me know what you guys thought about this first episode of Married at First Sight San Diego, you guys. I'm still kind of confused how they match people up, but hey, we in for the ride, you guys. That is it. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your post notifications, you guys. Share the video. And until next time, you guys, stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, you guys. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. Almost 40 minutes. But that episode was 3 hours long. Why?